You're watching WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon. The news continues on WKYT. We're about to hit 12:30.
Well, it's the time of year when more and more people start to travel with the Kentucky Derby next weekend. Bluegrass Airport is one of the places preparing for more passengers.
And when it comes to getting through security, what you bring and how you pack it can slow you down. WKYT's Mark Barber explains. It's our top story at 12:30. Mark?
Passenger traffic here at the Bluegrass Airport is about to take off with the Derby next weekend. The Transportation Security Administration says they collect about 25 pounds of banned materials at the safety checkpoints here every month. And they don't want your items to end up in that growing pile. Everything you see here came from the pockets and bags of travelers who were stopped at the security checkpoint. Since crowds of people will be waiting in longer lines here next week, the TSA is offering travelers some advice, trying to save them from the headaches and heartaches that come from leaving behind valuables.
Do a quick bag check and a quick check of your personal belongings, basically, to make sure you don't have those prohibited items. And you're going to save yourself the hassle of having to go through that or possibly getting in trouble with law enforcement. And also you're going to save the folks behind you a lot of time.
Knives, guns, tools, and large bottles with liquids, like Kentucky bourbon, will all get you flagged.
The most common excuse we get is, oops, I forgot it was in there, or my husband or wife packed my bag for me. But ultimately, you're responsible for whatever you bring to the checkpoint.
One of the more serious offenses that the TSA is trying to steer travelers away from is carrying a gun into an airport. If you get stopped with a firearm at a checkpoint, police will run a background check on you and that firearm. At the very least, you will be cited with carrying a concealed weapon in a secure area. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
And the TSA is asking travelers to arrive at Bluegrass Airport 2 hours before their flights leave because record crowds are expected late next week for the Kentucky Derby. A lot of folks travel through Lexington to be here for all the happenings, certainly. Well, the day is off to a beautiful start. We've had sunshine out there throughout most of the day, but that won't last all the way through.
The storms are expected to roll through this evening and end tonight. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is tracking it all right now. Micah?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those evenings and one of those nights that you try to lay your head down and then all of a sudden these big boomers come rolling on through. It's just not going to be fun to go through. But you know what? It's not widespread severe weather. It's nothing like that to really worry about. However, some of these storms will be strong. It's something to watch out for. Right now, there's nothing going on outside. It's pretty calm, pretty quiet. That will change late in the afternoon. I believe late in the afternoon, 3 to about 6 p.m. is when you can see a few storms develop. Most of that is just going to be your heavy downpours and a lot of lightning. But you'll see the strongest cells come during the evening and off into the night. So the strongest portion of this comes evening and night, and then you look for it to continue off into tomorrow too. So it's not just tomorrow, but that takes you off into portions of Thursday too. So the next 3 days, starting off this evening, going through the first half of Thursday, you're adding up some big numbers. 1 to 3 inches of rain across the region, even some particular weather models. Look at Danville, look at Richmond, both of those over the 3-inch reading. That would be good because you got to remember, since January 1st, we have been in a deficit. We are 3+ inches below average. So we do need this rain, and it's coming. That is for sure the next 3 days, guys. We're going to talk about that and also look at the storm timing again coming up in just about 10 minutes.
Micah, thank you. An underwater search is taking place for a man who's been missing nearly 4 years. Clarence Holmes disappeared while helping other boaters during a storm on Laurel Lake in 2012. A team from Louisiana is conducting today's search in the Marshes Branch area. They say Laurel Lake is unusual and poses challenges in searching for a body.
We're used to dealing with 50 feet or less and a flat bottom, and this is a flooded mountain range.
Now, the search is specifically targeting an area where an underwater tree could hold the weight of a body. The team plans to be on the lake for several days.
As he pointed out, really those trees are under the surface of the water because that was an area that was just simply flooded to make the lake.
And it does make it unusual and present different challenges when you're searching. Well, CBS News has learned investigators are looking into the possibility a Mexican drug cartel is behind the murders of 8 members of an Ohio family.
It has been 4 days since those bodies were found in Piketon, Ohio. That's about 100 miles east of Cincinnati, and there have been no arrests. David Begnaud is tracking the latest on the investigation.
A law enforcement source confirms to CBS News that investigators found some 200 marijuana plants. They were inside an indoor grow operation that was found in some of the homes where 8 members of the Roden family were executed. Law enforcement sources estimate that the street value of the marijuana plants is nearly $500,000.
Do you think that that may have been a factor in these murders?
We have no idea. I mean, we're running these leads out. There's many different theories.
More than 60 people have been interviewed by investigators. Isaiah Jones says he was detained at gunpoint during a traffic stop. He was questioned for 6 hours, then released.
I really want people to know that I really had nothing to do with it and that these were also friends of mine.
Investigators also spoke with his friend, Rusty Mongold, apparently about a Facebook post that appeared to threaten the youngest murder victim. Among the 8 victims shot in the head was 37-year-old Dana Roden. This is her father, Leonard Manley. He thinks his daughter knew the killer or killers.
Whoever done it knowed the family, because there were 2 dogs there that would eat you up.
The sheriff believes there may be more than one killer because there are 4 different crime scenes, and the sheriff is not convinced one person could have done the job by himself and gotten away without being noticed. The sheriff is convinced the killer had help. David Begno, CBS News, Pike County, Ohio.
Law enforcement officials say the size of the family's marijuana grow house indicates they were selling the drug. They also say the area has a drug problem. A Kentucky man is facing charges after a bizarre incident on a plane. According to the FBI, Jordan Gardner of Kenton County stood up, removed his pants, and urinated on the floor of a plane during a flight from San Francisco to Charlotte on Sunday. Police arrested Gardner when the plane landed. They say he smelled of alcohol, and though he denied drinking too much. The Charlotte Observer is reporting that Gardner is now in a jail in Charlotte, North Carolina, awaiting a hearing on Thursday.
Dozens of people came to Camp Nelson today to help remember a veteran. Johnny Patrick died last week at Thompson Hood Veterans Center in Jessamine County. He didn't have any close family to give him a funeral, so the center put out a call on Facebook inviting anyone to attend. Today's graveside service included distant relatives, Thompson Hood staff, and also some complete strangers.
It was amazing to me today at 9 o'clock in the morning, all the people, the staff who came out. I don't know, there must have been a dozen or 10 or 12, and they were so appreciative of him, and then they brought with them residents who could come.
Now, Patrick loved growing tomatoes, and the center had just ordered him new plants. His caretakers will now raise the plants in his honor. Governor Matt Bevin is making his first overseas trip since taking office. The governor tweeted this picture after arriving in Germany today, where he's at a trade show to meet with businesses that have facilities in Kentucky. He plans to meet with executives in France and Belgium as well. The governor says the trip is an opportunity to sell the benefits of Kentucky to manufacturers.
Well, there's a lot more to come on WKYT News here at 12:30, and we hope you'll stay with us.
Do you have pedal power? Find out about the Love to Ride Lexington Challenge just ahead.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have some storms rolling our direction. It's still well back west of us and to the north of us too, but still we're going to be waiting on these as we travel off deep into the afternoon, into the evening hours. That's when they spark up, and then they move southbound as we travel off into the evening and into the night. We do have an update from Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma. I'll show you that graphic in just about 30 seconds. But right now we're in the 70s. Things look good. Nothing there on radar, not right now. So if you're trying to go out and knock out some errands before the storms pop up, you can do it in the next few hours. I'd say now through about 3 or 4 p.m. It's probably your best bet. But after that, 4 p.m., 5, 6, that's where you see a few storms spark up right along this boundary just to the north of us. And the strongest portion of this actually comes after that. You get into the 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. That's when you start to see the big storms roll on through. So afternoon, you can have some of these storms with some lightning, heavy downpours. But when you're looking at strong, potentially severe cells, it's going to be right there during the evening and nighttime hours. You see the piece of energy riding right along that boundary, heading our direction. But what you're going to see out of the northern half is that spark up southern half of Indiana, and then all that drives its way southbound. Moderate risk still looks like an outbreak back towards central southern plains. But for us, we're still looking at that marginal risk for most. However, Storm Prediction Center has now upgraded this area, which I talked about early on, this area right through here to have the best chance of seeing a strong severe cell or two. So that's really something to watch out for. And I would say anywhere before 10 p.m. in this area, that's where you could see the best chance at seeing a couple of severe cells rolling through. Damaging winds will be our main player. Farther it goes down toward the south, better likelihood of it just dissipating close to midnight down south. So let's go through the timing. Let me break it down for you, show you maybe when you're putting the kids off to bed, or maybe you're putting your own self to bed. Watch when these storms roll through. Here's 4 p.m., couple of storms popping up. This is not what we're concerned about. Watch as we travel off into the evening. Now you're talking about 6 to 8 p.m. crossing over the river, heading our direction, I would say around I-64 corridor northbound before 10 p.m. So Lexington, I would give it anywhere from 8 p.m. to 11, earliest to the latest. That's probably your best bet. And then it slides southbound and southeast. And look at this timing. It's midnight. Some zones down toward the southeast still have not experienced these storms. Watch as they travel southbound. Boom, they dissipate, right? They just kind of disappear. That's what I expect. The best chance is central and northern Kentucky for your severe chance, which is still relatively low. Don't get me wrong. This is no outbreak type of situation, small risk. But southeastern half, it's more likely that you're just going to see showers and a few rumbles of thunder. Going off into your Wednesday, guess what? More showers, more thunderstorms in the forecast, and it's just going to continue to barrel on through all the way through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, guys. It looks like it calms down just a bit, but the next 3 days are pretty active. Pretty soggy too, but we need that rain. Get it on the ground, help us out, and really clear the pollen out of the air too.
All right, we'll be right here and ahead of the storms, and we thank you, Micah. It is a month-long effort aimed at getting people to ride a bike, and you can take part in the Love to Ride Lexington Challenge.
We're joined by Scott Thompson, bicycle and pedestrian coordinator with the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government. Thank you very much. We want to learn more about it. It sounds exciting.
Yeah, great. Yes, the Bike Lexington Challenge takes place for the entire month of May, so May 1st through May 31st. And it's designed to encourage your friends, family, and colleagues to get out and enjoy firsthand the pleasure of riding a bike and the benefits associated with that.
You've had in the past efforts that emphasize people who commute, actually, who ride to work on their bicycles. This is more an effort to get everybody to kind of get some exercise and enjoy the bike, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this year we're using a little different format. It's a % participation format. So businesses, government agencies, educational institutions, and organizations are encouraged to sign up and get people to participate. And so as your percentage increases, which is just one 10-minute bike ride for each person who enters the challenge, you get better opportunities to win prizes. So there's we're still doing the commute and the most miles part of the challenge, but we're doing the new rider and top encourager as well this year.
So what does it mean for the individual biker? Do you need to have a team to do this, or can you just be a solo biker out there?
You can sign up as an individual. We are encouraging for workplaces to get involved because it's a great way to encourage kind of friendly competition amongst departments within a business or between other businesses throughout the community. So,
do you feel Lexington is bicycle friendly?
Yeah, I think so. I think we do a really good job of getting the message out about bike safety. We've really increased our facilities over the years as far as on-road and off-road facilities, like our shared use trails like the Legacy Trail, Town Branch Trail, and the Brighton East. So there's lots of places to get out and enjoy a ride for every level of rider that's out there.
So tell us more about the benefits for people who participate, the prizes and what else?
Yeah. So we have several gift certificates available to the Pedal Power Bike Shop. We're giving away a folding bike for the new rider. So if you enter, you'll be automatically entered in to win that folding bike. We have free coffee giveaways, gift certificates, as well as gym memberships, things of that nature. So all throughout the challenge, every week there'll be opportunities to win prizes.
All right. Sometimes it's just getting together that causes people to do some things, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Scott, thank you so much. And it is going to be all during the month of May, the Love to Ride Lexington Bike Challenge. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Well, a Broadway hit takes center stage at the Lexington Opera House.
It's Scappa's Music Man, some high schoolers, next on WKYT.
We're glad you're with us today. It's a show the whole family will love, put on by local high school students. SCAPA presents The Music Man at the Lexington Opera House.
And we're joined today by Scott DeMayo and by Hannah Hetzel-Eben, two of the actors, and they're going to tell us all about it. We thank you both for coming in.
Thank you. What a wonderful production this has to be. Tell us about your characters in The Music Man.
Well, I'm Marion Peru, and I am the librarian in River City, Iowa, and I'm very stereotypical, stuck up. I don't like a lot of change, so when he comes to town, I give him the cold shoulder, but I end up turning around and really falling for his character. So
yeah, Harold is he's really a con artist disguised as a salesman of kids bands. He's trying to convince River City, Iowa that they need this band that he can create. He can order instruments and uniforms, but really he doesn't know one note from another. So.
And he gets them pretty far down the road in believing.
Oh, he really does. Yeah. It only comes out, you know, right towards the end there. But
well, as soon as you start talking about it, you think of the wonderful music in this production. It's got to be great to work on something like this.
It's fantastic. My grandmother's favorite show is The Music Man, so I've grown up listening to the soundtrack.
Won't that be a thrill? I hope she can come and see it.
She is. She's coming from Wisconsin to see it. So.
That's really
it's just
great.
wonderful for high schoolers to be able to work on classical stuff as well. You know, we grow up listening to the more modern sort of contemporary musical theater. It's nice to do the golden stuff.
What is it going to be like for you to go and perform on the stage of the Opera House, where, you know, the Tony Award-winning actors and actresses have been?
Yeah, it's incredible that a high school gets to do something like that. You know, and we, through the SCAPA program, have been able to do that year after year. But once you walk out opening night, it's kind of like a renewed sense of just awe to be in something so historical.
Yeah, it's incredible. You never get used to it.
And you have so many people involved. How many characters in this?
There's roughly 66, including the ensemble, and most of us are double cast, so not all 66 are on stage at once, but there's a lot involved.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's a big production, and your chance to see it is coming up this Thursday through Sunday, right?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday, right. $17 for adults, $14 for students and seniors, and $233-3535 for the Opera House for ticket info. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. You're both seniors, and I understand you're going to do music theater, and you want to go into medicine?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And we get to enjoy a little sample of your talents in just a minute, too.
Look forward to that, and hope you stay with us. We'll be watching weather quite carefully this afternoon into tonight, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, especially that evening and night. That's when we're going to be seeing the strongest portion of this system roll through. Remember, afternoon you could have a few cells pop up, but really it's the evening and night. There's the breakdown hour by hour as we head off into the evening, nighttime hours. Will be loud later on tonight, that's for sure.
All right. Updates, of course, on our next newscast, which is coming up at 4. We want to thank you for being with us for WKYT News at noon.
The Young and the Restless is coming up next, and we want to leave you now with the music of SCAPA's Music Man.
Enjoy the music, and you make it a great afternoon.